Hey everyone, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch. Today we're going to tell the truth about what's going to happen with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens, and we're going to talk about the NFL. I got Big Ten Gary on to talk about the Big Ten. I'm usually the SEC guy. I'll talk a little college football. There's a big SEC matchup coming up. But I had a good interview with Big Ten Gary breaking down the Big Ten. He loves the Big Ten. I love his passion. So you're going to feel that passion going right through the screen. Now I want to talk about the NFL. There's some decent matchups. One is not really Chiefs and Jets. That's pigs to the slaughter. Rams and Dolphins are decent because Tua makes his debut. Cowboys and Eagles are for first place, even though Eagles are 2-4, the Cowboys are 2-5 with their third string backup quarterback. Bills, Patriots. I expect the Bills to beat up the Patriots. The Patriots are a mess. The Patriots are the swagger, just the whole feel of their organization left with Brady. I didn't think that would ever happen. I don't feel the same about the Patriots. They're going to be a mess for a while. The Titans are going to annihilate the Bengals. I like the Browns at home against the Raiders. Baker Mayfield's going to have another game. I don't like him. So when I'm saying nice stuff about him, you know the Browns are going to win. I like Baker Mayfield and the Browns, Landry and their running game to be able to get it done against the Raiders. If this was in Vegas, I'd pick the Raiders. This is a home pick. Saints and Bears, I like the Saints in Chicago. Unless it's like super freezing cold, where the elements change the rhythm of how Breeze. And I know Michael Thomas, I believe he's going to play, but, we'll see. I just the Bears. I'm not feeling them. I think they're a decent wild card team that'll be out in the first round. I like the Seahawks over the 49ers at home. I'm playing a hunch because the Niners are playing pretty good defense. The Seattle defense is kind of putrid. I think in Seattle they're going to be a little more inspired. They're going to have their one good day where the KJ Wright and the talent that's on there is going to rise up. Wilson will outplay Garoppolo in a very close game, and Seahawks will go 6-1. I believe the Niners will go 4-4. Niners could win that because of their running game, because they just have a better defense. From top to bottom, they're a little more talented than Seattle. I'm just riding a hunch on Russell Wilson and how Seattle will bounce back and win that football game. Now, the Steelers and the Ravens. I have Kev Easy from Steelers for 7 podcast. A very confident young man talking about our Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Ravens. I will just give you 2 perspectives, what the Ravens could do to win and what the Pittsburgh could do to win. The Ravens, they need to scheme the heck out of this game, whereas they're tricking the Steelers. Their defense, their offense is making plays where you might see a mistake here and there in the Steelers secondary because they think that Jackson's going to run. They're overcommitting to his run. They're overcommitting to J.K. Dobbins, who might get the ball or a pass. And then Snead and Hollywood Brown gets behind their secondary, and Lamar Jackson hits them for a big play. Or they're totally into stopping the receivers, and Lamar Jackson finds an alleyway to run in. So Baltimore has to scheme the heck out of this game to win. And that's what they've done. I give Harbaugh credit for bringing back almost like the 1985 more updated version of the option, that Oklahoma Barry Switzer option. Harbaugh looked at Jackson's skill set and said, I got to run this offense this way for us to win. And that's how they've been able to win. Plus, their defense is very opportunistic. They're very blitz happy. The Steelers get home with 4, and they'll blitz. Of course, they run there. Hilton gets in sometimes from the safety position, and they'll get home on those blitzes. But the Ravens are blitz happy, try to turn you over. They're very good at punching the football. They don't mind you catch the ball, but they're looking to rip that ball. You got to be so super tight with your hands with the football and protective at all times. You lax, fumble, momentum change. This is game about turnovers. Does Lamar Jackson commit to it? He kind of is loose with the ball. Can you turn him over? Can you get Ben Roethlisberger to throw a bad pick? And then that changes the momentum. And then Baltimore goes down the field. Harbaugh does not like kicking field goals from the 40 yards in if it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2. He goes for it a lot. The Steelers have to stop the 3rd and down and 4 and the 4th and 2s for them to win. They have to win that battle because Harbaugh's going for – he's got a great kicker, but he likes the chances of Lamar Jackson when that happens. And the Steelers, they have to play their game. That's what they have to do is get home on the blitzes, attack Lamar Jackson, play the 2 deep zone, take care of the middle, sell out to the middle, dare Jackson to throw the sideline routes, which is not as good. And they have to take what Baltimore gives them. Their line has to be solid because they're coming. This is a manhood challenge to the offensive line because the Ravens are coming. So if Ben has time, if the Ravens play up, you go deep with Claypool and Juju. If they go back, you go underneath like you did against the Titans. You take what the defense gives you, nothing more, nothing less. Connor's very good with the screen game. If Connor can give you 3 and 4 yards a chunk with the running game to keep the defense honest, the Steelers will be in very good shape. But if he can't run a lick, and the Ravens have been successful to the run, but if they don't run and Connor can't run and you're in 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 18, you can't do that, Baltimore. Baltimore 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. That's manageable because the line can handle the blitz then. Great game. Now, without further ado, I have Kev Easy on as my guest. He did a terrific job. All right, this is Tell the Truth Radio. I got the guy that always tells you the truth, Kev Easy from Steelers for 7 Podcasts. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Ron? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, but man, you hit the nail on the head, man. With these predictions, you predicted the Titans win. It was a little tougher than it should have been. A couple silly mistakes, but you did that. Now it's on to these Ravens, the biggest rivalry in the NFL right now. What do you think the keys are to the game? And I'm gonna give you mine.
I think the keys are as simple as last week's. Stop Lamar Jackson, stop the running game, and make Lamar Jackson have to throw 300 yards or 3 touchdowns. Like, make him throw the ball this game because he hasn't really had that type of game in the air. Like, he has, his moments running the ball, but as far as having to throw the ball that many times, I believe the Ravens is ranked 31st in the passing game, and they're running the ball lot, so they're not really throwing the ball like that. So if we can make Lamar Jackson have to beat us with his arm, it's going to be a tough day for them.
Yeah, but also teams are up on him, so they're daring him. They're taking away the middle. He loves to throw to Andrews and Hollywood Brown and Snead in the middle, and he's not a type of guy that stick those to the sidelines is good. And now that there's a year of looking at him on film, a lot of teams are taking that away from him. So he doesn't see what he wants to see, and he usually runs. That's why he's their leading rusher. Another thing is Ingram and Dobbins, they're not getting the yards that you normally would think because LeVar is the leading rusher. I looked. But I think the Steelers have to have eye discipline, like Spillane and all the – got to know when he's putting it in and when he's running on that RPO.
Right.
I think that's the key on offense, and Fitzpatrick has got to be good. He was bad last week. I know you talked about that. He's got to be better.
Yeah, he has to be a little more consistent this year because he has to know as well. Last year, the great year he had last year, teams got film on him now. He has to adjust to the adjustment,
Yes.
So he was able to do it getting a pick 6 2 weeks ago, but got to do a little bit more, man. Got to have some type of game that's consistent, and he has another chance this weekend in the big game.
Yes, I think Pittsburgh has a little more talent than Baltimore. So what Baltimore is going to rely on, not just being home, but turnovers. This is what Baltimore loves to do. This is what Pittsburgh got to be careful of. They love to punch at the football. Humphreys and Peters and those guys, they love strips. They love the strip sack fumbles. They live off your turnovers. And remember last year when Juju, we were driving down to win the game and Juju fumbled. And I screamed he did it again because remember the New Orleans game that cost him the playoff spot. And I screamed he did it again because he was driving in. But they punch at the ball. I think this week at practice, that's something Tomlin's going to stress.
Of course. And on top of that, Juju lived it. So Juju's in. He's telling the rest of the receivers, "Hey man, they punch at the ball. We're gonna have to, make sure we had that thing tight. Make sure that nobody's able to get this. Like we can't fumble this game away because the Ravens will definitely get a turnover off of that. They don't need picks. They'll just knock the ball out your hand. You know what I mean? So I believe just the mentality of our team this year. It's just that we're not going to allow you to come in and dog walk us. Like you have to really, like, I don't want to be that extreme, but you have to really kill the Pittsburgh Steelers to win a game. Like, you know what I mean? Like this seems like that type of year. The discipline is at an all-time high. The confidence all the guys have in each other is at an all-time high. And I think with that type of mentality, you have to really win a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're not going to hand you a game.
No, I agree. Now I'm hiring you as the offensive coordinator of Pittsburgh Steelers. Kev Easy's now this week's coordinator. Steelers like to run those bunch formations a lot on third down when they run rubs and those crossing patterns. Baltimore loves the blitz. But you got to be careful you blitz because you could get picked and then Deontay Johnson will be gone or Claypool. What do you think the Steelers are? How are they going to adjust when they run those third down formation? With the Ravens like the blitz, like to flood the zone. So I don't think you're going to get as many short passes as you did with Titans on third down. So what do you think the Steelers are going to do?
I believe we may have to go. If we do go bunch formation, it's so many plays you could run out of that. Where I feel like the Ravens secondary like to press a lot. So that will really either make them back up some because if you try to press a bunch formation, you're asking to run into each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So that can actually be a good thing for us. And I believe the way our offense has been playing since it's been picking up a little bit each week, we really let you – because we have so many weapons and so many ways to attack, we let you tell us what to do. Like, what are we going to do? So I think we're going to really pick on the Ravens secondary as far as them pressing a lot. Unless they choose not to press this week, then I feel we'll have an effective running game, even though they got a lot of ballers on that front seven.
They definitely do. I actually think if it's not a bunch formation, they're gonna flood the zone, and I believe they're gonna dare Ben to go deep. They're gonna listen. You're not getting all that short stuff you got against the Titans. Our corners are gonna man you up, and we're gonna dare you to make accurate deep throws. What do you think about that?
I believe if you're gonna get what you ask for. So if they ask Ben to do that, and they shall receive that. Because I believe Ben, we haven't had to really have those type of plays. Like just the way we've been playing, we didn't have to throw it deep too much. So people were questioning if Ben has it. He missed on a few, but what quarterback doesn't miss every now and then, especially if you're not throwing that many down the field. So if you miss like 2 or 3 and that's all people can remember, they're going to go with that narrative. But I believe if that's what's available to Ben, he's going to make it happen. And we have a lot of guys that can make it happen down the field. James Washington, I don't think they want to leave him open down the field. I don't think they want to leave Claypool open down the field.
But you know what their philosophy is? We'll man you up and dare you to go deep, but by the time you did it, I think we could get home on Ben. That's their mentality, whether that is true or not. I believe they're so confident they'll dare Ben to go deep. I think that's the Ravens mentality.
And they're gonna have to switch that up when they realize they can't because our offensive line it's been plug and play in between guard and guard and maybe a tackle here and there. But as a collective, the offensive line has been spectacular, man. They refuse to let – even though Ben's getting the ball out fast, even the times where Ben is holding on to the ball, they still give him time. So I think our offensive line will be able to not fully stop the pass rush from the Baltimore Ravens because this is not going to happen like that. But I believe that they will be able to leave Ben with enough time to make something happen, either deep, intermediate, anything. Like I just believe in our offensive line will win there. And when I mean win, I don't mean like we're rushing for 200 and Ben having 300, 400 yards. Winning as in they give Ben just enough time to make a play.
Yeah, but you know what? Spillane, that was a hit of the year on Henry. How does he deal with this type of 1980s option that they're kind of running, with Lamar running the ball and passing the ball and giving the ball to running back, kind of like the old school option play. How does he, with his eye discipline, how important is that for your inside linebackers with Williams and him?
I believe with Robert Spillane, all he has to do, I haven't really seen him do it, just make sure you don't overcommit.
Mm-hmm.
With all that misdirection that they do, if you overcommit, that can be bad. That can be terrible. Terrible. Mm-hmm. And I feel I don't want to say stay home, but to some degree stay home, make sure you know where it's going. And I believe that comes with film work as well. Those guys are watching film with them, so they'll probably have a better idea of where the ball is going to go when they get into that situation. But what I've been seeing for Robert Spillane, he's not like an all-world talented player, but he's good enough to play, And so if he minimizes the mistakes and just be disciplined up here, and I feel like having somebody like Vince Williams next to him, and you got Cam Hayward, you got a lot. He's in good hands. He's in good hands.
Yeah.
He's in good hands.
See, the difference with Pittsburgh and Ravens, Pittsburgh can come at you with 4 rushers. The Ravens are a heavy blitz team. Mm-hmm. So there are going to be opportunities. But the Steelers, they blitz. But, T.J. Watt, his ability to stop the run as well as the pass is amazing. And I watched him in Wisconsin, and I was like, man, I want him on Pittsburgh. And I was so glad they got him. And that's good. And Spillane's fundamentally sound. That's one thing is good in his favor. The secondary, come on, man, you got to do better. I want better. They made some good plays. I saw Sutton with a knockdown, but can't let Hollywood Brown get behind you.
Right.
Snead wants to get down the middle. They're down the middle, Andrew, Snead type of team. They don't throw a lot of sideline routes because that's not a strong point, but they want to run so they can get that off. So Pittsburgh has to watch for that.
I have confidence that our front seven or whoever we send or just our front line in general is going to be able to get to Lamar or at least rattle him a little bit where he has to do something like drastic. Because he threw 3 picks last time he played the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's not for nothing. That's not for nothing. He was being rushed. He had to make crazy decisions, and you saw what happened. And he didn't, as a passer, he hasn't taken that next step. I want to say he's kind of the same. He's kind of the same from last year. I feel like with Lamar Jackson, we're going to see the best Lamar Jackson as far as throwing the ball probably 5 years from now. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be on Sunday.
Okay.
And to go back for a quick second, I would like to add James Conner in that pass protection as well. He's been phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. So you got to add him into that. I feel like he's going to be able to be back there and protect Ben a lot too. And we'll be able to run a lot of screens off of that as well.
You read my mind. I was going to talk about the screen net pass next. That was well said. The screen pass with that blitz coming is perfect. Well said. What's with, I call it the Tom Brady News Network, where I listened to them, and they said, well, the Steelers are 6-0, but they're boring. I said, you got Claypool, Juju, Connor, Deontay Johnson, and Ebron, and they're averaging 30 a game, and that's boring? Really?
That's because it was a poll recently taken, and the Steelers is the most hated team in America.
Okay.
So that kind of tells me everything I need to know about how they're perceived on TV.
On TV. But that's why I called my show Tell the Truth Radio, because I have to deal with this fake news. That's why I got to have you on, because you tell the truth. And I need people like-minded like you on this program. Also, the Steelers are one of the most popular teams. I think some of that is built up by the news media with the fake polling. I didn't get polled. I think Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Oakland, a little bit of Minnesota, Dallas, those are teams that are very popular across the country. They've been forever. So that I don't believe. Now, if the Patriots were the most hated, I understand because of some of the shenanigans that were pulled with Spygate in the early 2000s. But Pittsburgh, I don't agree with that because how come every stadium is filled with terrible towels when they're on the road? See, it doesn't fit that narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative that you're trying to program. And if you're doing a news show and you're setting an agenda instead of telling the actual news, that's my issue.
Right. I agree. And on top of that, I seen another poll where I seen that the Steelers is the most popular team in California.
Oh yes.
You can't be the most hated and have a bigger fan base than I think California has two. No, California got LA Chargers and
Rams.
LA. They have two teams, but the Steelers are more popular than both.
Have you seen those Charger games where it's lit, the whole crowd? One time, Phil Rivers said he had to call a silent count because there's so many Steeler fans. So it's a lot. I know it's a lot in California. They're definitely very popular. Who do you think is going to win this game?
This game, of course, I have Pittsburgh taking the first match. I did say that I believe that the Steelers will split with Baltimore. I just don't think it's going to be this time. I think it's going to be the Steelers win. I do get my predictions out on my podcast today. So
okay.
I can give you my number. I can give you my number today. I believe the Steelers will win this game 30-24.
Okay.
30-24.
30-24. Before I let you go, did you pattern your hair after Palomalu? Because you should have came with a Palomalu jersey under there, man.
Hey, man, Palomalu owed me a jersey, man.
Okay. Listen, next year I'm going to have more wide-ranging coverage, so I'm going to try to get you to Pittsburgh to the games when they clear with all the COVID-19, all this nonsense.
Right.
I'll try to get you. I'll use my radio station credential, try to get you at the games, man.
Right.
You need to be at Heinz Field on Sunday.
They need me over there,
man. You need to do a report and send it to me, and I'll put it on my show. That's what needs to happen. You and Tiana. The Lady of Steel. Shout out wherever you are with your Dunkin' Donuts.
Wasn't she supposed to be on?
I tried to reach out to her, so we have to try it again. I don't know if she's waiting for Dallas.
Last time she said something. Last time I seen her or had some type. She was on my live on Wednesday. I do lives, Steelers for 7 podcast live every Wednesday, 8:00. She joined it and she was kind of scared. So she might be scared for this game. So I don't need that.
Oh, she's waiting for the Dallas one. I got it.
Yeah, I like my Steelers fans arrogant like me, like everyone else that don't live in their fear. Shout out to Mike Tomlin.
Well, what you do, you bring me out of my fear. I'm afraid, and you kind of say, "Come on, Ron, come on to the other side. Stop being scared, Ron." It's like that guy that doesn't want to get on that ride at Great Adventure. I'm like, I don't know. Get on the ride, man. And so you got me on the ride. I'm feeling confident right now. I appreciate what you do. You do a great job. Tell everybody what's your next episode coming on.
Hey, man, the Steelers for 7 podcast dropping tonight, within the next 2 hours.
Okay.
Like I said, I do the morning after. So Monday morning, watch out for the morning after.
Yes.
It's going to be the results. So if we win, you're going to see Happy Cat.
Yeah.
I might throw some things in here. Hopefully I don't got to break anything in here.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good regardless, man. Thanks a lot. Welcome back to Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm going to tell the truth about this week's college matchups. You don't have a lot of great ones. Michigan is going to kill Michigan State. Penn State's going to get slaughtered by Ohio State. Clemson's going to blow out Boston College, even without Trevor Lawrence, who contacted the coronavirus. Prayers up that he gets hit well quickly. You got sneaky good matchups like Georgia, Kentucky, LSU, Auburn. The matchup I want to talk about that I'm really pumped up for is Arkansas and Texas A&M. Two of those C+, C- programs in SEC. Now they're actually playing like A-, B+ this year. Arkansas has had a resurgence. They got cheated against Auburn. They should be 3-1. Texas A&M, big win over. They played pretty good against Alabama. Big win at home against Florida. They look a lot better. You know what this is about? And this is kind of interesting. This is about Kellen Mond and Felipe Franks. Felipe Franks, 412 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Kellen Mond, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. the running games have been pretty good. Arkansas is running with some power this year with Smith, and I love Isaiah Spiller, the sophomore from Texas A&M, running hard, big, strong, fast. He's a sophomore, so next year NFL scouts are gonna be drooling. He's a perfect speed, power running back, Todd Gurley-ish type of guy that's perfect for the NFL. And then you got Anaya Smith, who's as good at it as a receiver. But I wonder if Traylon Smith, the running back for Arkansas, doesn't want to be outstaged. Arkansas likes to run. They're good in the passing game. Arkansas gave up just about 39 points a game. This year is 25. Their defense is a lot better. They're a little more stout in the run. A&M is physical. I'm just going to pick A&M because they're home. If this was like I said, this was in Arkansas, I would pick Arkansas. But I'm going to ride A&M with another big win, and that would keep them in the mix as far as the SEC West. Next week, to me, there's some okay matchups. Next week, it gets real next week. 11th-ranked BYU, Boise State on a Friday night. North Carolina and Duke. Indiana just got ranked because they upset Penn State. I didn't think much of Indiana, and they beat Penn State. So Indiana 17th versus Michigan, and Michigan's got to go to Indiana, so that's interesting. Oklahoma State versus Kansas State. I'm not crazy about the Big 12, but Oklahoma State's 4-0, and they do play a little defense against Kansas State, who upset Oklahoma. Georgia, Florida, the biggest cocktail in America, in Jacksonville. And then you got Clemson, Notre Dame. Will Trevor Lawrence be able to play? Will he be cleared to play? Now, I heard the backup is very good for Clemson, so the cover's not bare. A lot of good matchups in college football.
I had to configure the configuration of the
All right.
celebration.
Without further ado, I've been telling you about Big Ten Gary. This guy loves the Big Ten. Big Ten Gary, what's going on, man?
Not much. I don't know if I love the Big Ten. I love all the Big Ten, only the Ohio State Buckeyes.
I know that. I know, but I do say we would have discussions. And I'm an SEC guy because I have SEC writers. You're like, listen, give the Big Ten some love. So I said, you know what? Over the last couple of years, because of your influence, I have gotten into the Big Ten. I like Iowa Stadium. I like when they play. They seem like they have a good fan base. You guys are dominant. Let's talk about this mismatch Saturday. You guys are going to kick this. You lost to Indiana, Penn State, man. You guys have 11 5-star athletes on your team. And Penn
Indiana's a tough team. Indiana's a tough team.
They're getting better. They're getting better. I will say that.
Like I'm watching right now. I'm watching Maryland, Minnesota.
I'm glad you got to Maryland.
Played for
yes.
For Maryland.
Yes.
Good.
And listen, they projected him to be better than his brother.
Yeah, he's doing good.
So Maryland's a player now.
I don't know if they're a player. Not yet. Yeah. Rutgers looked tough this week.
Oh, I know. I like Rutgers. They're coming a little bit. They're maybe a year or two away. Who's the big threat to Ohio State? You're like, you're going to mark that down on your calendar.
Out of the Big Ten?
Mm-hmm.
I go with Penn State. Penn State,
really?
Michigan. Michigan's always a problem. They're always a problem. Michigan. And then, that game up in Iowa, in the dark Iowa game a couple years ago, we lost.
You
never know who could sneak up and be tough and really give you problems,
You know what? Iowa has a history, whether it's Penn State or Michigan or Ohio State. They have a history of beating teams in Iowa. Is it the crowd? Is it what makes that such a tough place to play?
It's a trap game, and that's the game of the year for them. So they bring everybody out. They did a blackout that game. They rolled the kid out, and they did all the stuff I feel sorry for the kid, but they rolled. They made it a big thing.
And you know what's crazy?
Teams really good for Ohio.
Because of the coronavirus, it can be 10,000 people in Iowa, and it sounds like it's full. I was even watching the Iowa State game. Those fans are rabid, and you could
it's like
hear.
you're right on top of each other. You're right on top
Yeah,
of the field.
yeah. But I back to Ohio State. So you're scared because it's not a whiteout because there's not going to be a crowd. Usually it's a tough game because of the whiteout. I'm not crazy about Penn State. What are you worried about? Because I don't think they can stop Fields in that high octane offense you got.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a COVID season. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what they went through during the week, who was out or in or out or what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. They're only one game into this very different season. As you see, you never know what you're going to get with these teams sometimes. They come out and flat.
Mm-hmm.
Like Indiana beat – what did they beat? They beat
Penn
State. Had a good
State.
game this weekend. Yeah, so you never know what you're going to get. Only one game in, But Penn State's always tough for us. I'm not going to sleep on them.
No. If Clemson, everything works out with Clemson and Lawrence and everything, and they're able to navigate through the SEC, could you see two Big Ten or two SEC? I'm not a believer in the Pac-12, man.
There's no.
I don't like the Big 12. I like the Big Ten. I like the SEC. I do not like the Big 12, man. I thought Oklahoma, I had high hopes for them. Texas is underachieving. Your boy Herman, what's going on? I thought Texas would be better, man.
Exactly. That's another,
And I heard he didn't leave on good terms leaving Ohio State. Is this true? You're an Ohio State guy.
Who?
Herman. I heard there's a little bit of friction with him and Urban Meyer.
Well, they had that controversy going on back and forth, but I don't think that had anything to do. I'm sure they're still cool.
Mm-hmm.
They left on good terms. They're all family out there in Ohio. But, they got Texas, Oklahoma. They had some tough games early. And, it's all got to do with the COVID. You never know what you're going to get.
That's why you're Big Ten Gary. Big Ten Gary, tell everybody what you do with your podcast.
On podcast, I've been doing pick'ems. I think I did my last one. I'm going to have to revive it. Because the season is so unpredictable.
I know.
My predictions weren't working out the way I wanted, so I put it on pause for a while. So,
you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're a college football guy, man.
I'll be back.
I have to call you in August. It gets me fired up for college football, man.
Oh, yeah. You always got this picks there. My Titans lost to the Steelers.
Listen, we tried to give you the game. The Steelers tried their best to take that game and stuff it down your throat. It's one of those wins where I was pissed after the game.
I don't know, man. We got off to a bad start. I think they pinned us back with a couple of early penalties.
You know what? I think a learning experience is you're going to come out a little more play fake and play action instead of run. If you ever see the Ravens and Steelers again, you're going to be a more pass first, then let Henry do his thing. I think you're going to work in reverse the next time you see Pittsburgh or Baltimore because they're pretty much the same. You might have to see those two teams along with Kansas City.
Yeah, we got to do something. Our number one cornerback was out also, Dory Jackson. So hopefully.
Yeah, and Lawan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lawan's out.
Yes.
We got to get our first round draft pick going. He's still out.
Speaking, you
great. Williams. I don't know what he's going. I don't know what's going on with him.
You gave me a great segue. Listen, where are you putting Fields? Is he the number 2 in the draft? I mean, if you're the Jets and you don't get Lawrence, do you go grab up Fields? Or if you're Jackson, if your team you need a quarterback and you don't get Lawrence, is Fields the next best thing?
Ohio State's got a bad history of quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm Ohio State. I'm going to tell you straight now. Look at Washington.
Yeah.
Look at this couple guys just came out. But, I mean, Fields might be different. But
yeah.
I would tend to try to stay away from him if I was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I tell you what, defensive lineman, you're pretty good. With Bolson, yeah.
DNs, we're DN factory. So,
yes.
You need a DN or a cornerback. We got you. Quarterback, I don't know.
Before I let you go, can you finally beat this rotten Clemson Hex? Because it goes all the way back to Woody Hayes when he punched that linebacker in '77.
Clemson is throwing.
And you had him beat last year.
Clemson thrown to my side for the past few years, and then Watson plays for the Texans. So come on, he's still Clemson every year. They won't let up on me. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, man. Keep making those picks. You're the college guy, man. Thank you very much for coming on, dude.
I appreciate it. G Money picks.
G Money picks. Great. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Before I go, I won't talk about the Santa Cruz Tank Davis fight. I like Tank. Santa Cruz is coming up in weight. Rugged fighter. I always respect him. He can box. He's smart. He's experienced. Tank is just a rough, rugged. He's a good boxer. He's a power puncher. He's got power in his. He's a left-hander, but he's got a great right cross. Terrific left hand. He's good at setting you up. Whether it's going to be a late stoppage or a clear decision, I like Tank in this. I want to see Teofimo Lopez and Tank fight. And if that isn't made, there's a fighter that I've been complaining doesn't get enough fights is Julian Rodriguez. He does not get enough fights. He should be in the mix with the Devin Haney's, with all the fight, with the Tank Davises and everybody at 140. And Teofimo Lopez say, okay, y'all scared of me at 140? All right, Teofimo. If you can't find nobody, call the people at Top Rank and see if you get a fight with Julian Rodriguez, who is an outstanding body puncher. That's the reason why people avoid Julian Rodriguez. Nobody wants to get hit in the body that hard. They call him hammer time for a reason. But I'm sick and tired of people ducking, my dude. Seriously. If you're that tough and you're that courageous, if you calling all those people out and you can't get these fights, go fight Julian. 2 Hispanic fighters, action fight. Take a chance. You want a legacy? You want to fight the best? He's one of the best. Okay? Guys, 20-0, 13 knockouts. He's like a body snatcher. The last time I saw a guy that good as a body puncher, I'm a historian, was Mike McCallum, who was the body snatcher. He ended up fighting a power puncher like Teofimo, Julian Jackson. Julian Jackson staggered him, but because McCallum's such a great boxer, terrific body puncher, he took care of Julian Jackson. Julian Jackson never got hit like that before because Julian Jackson knocked everybody out. They went to sleep when he fought, but not McCallum, because McCallum had the ingredient, and that's why everyone is avoiding Julian Rodriguez.